I can't help it. Flying in a float plane is so cool. Every time I get into a bush plane, I get excited because it means a new fishing adventure. Flying over Ontario's beautiful North Country with its thousands of lakes and dense forests leaves me in awe. It's September and the leaves are just beginning to change color, naturally epic and majestic. The anticipation of fishing remote lakes and catching large brook trout in their spawning colors has made for many sleepless nights these past few weeks. But now I'm finally here. Welcome to Blue Fox Camp in Northern Ontario.
That is amazing.
There's a take. Oh, nice.
The power. All right.
The new fly fisher is made possible in partnership with Algoma Country, Destination Ontario, Orvis Fly Fishing, Trout Unlimited, Rio Products, Oscar Blues Brewery, Global Rescue, Adipose Boatworks, WeatherTech Canada.
For several years, the owners of Blue Fox Camp have been asking me to come fishing in late September. It's the perfect time of year for Northern Ontario. Bright, sunny, and warm days, no biting insects, cool nights for sleeping, and a chance to catch a trophy brook trout. Finally, the week has come for my visit. Blue Fox Camp is located on the Blue Lake System in the Algoma Highlands. The lake system consists of 6 feeder lakes which discharge into Blue Lake, all of which contain naturally reproducing lake trout, rainbow trout, and brook trout. In addition, approximately 50 back lakes accessible from camp are part of a regular world-class brook trout stocking program where 5 to 7 pound brookies are not uncommon. The best times to target big brook trout is May, June, and September. We've chosen to come here on this trip in September to target fish in their fall spawning colors. After unpacking and getting set up in our cabin, we decided to head out on the main lake and try our luck at catching some of the rainbow trout and other species the main lake is known for. I'm joined by Brad Thorne in my boat. The weather has closed in and it feels like a storm is coming soon. Ideal conditions for trout fishing. So this morning, Brad, we woke up, it was raining after yesterday's beautiful day, but you said the weather's supposed to clear by lunch, and we're going to go into one of the smaller lakes for the brook trout, but you think the best thing is to do a little trout fishing here in the main lake while we wait for it to clear up? Might rain again?
Yeah.
Sound good?
Sounds good to me. I think that's a good plan.
And the nice thing here in the lake, I mean, literally from the camp, you say there's this nice esker underwater or shoal where we can fish for rainbows and brook trout, right?
Correct. Yeah, I think we'll get a combination of those fish at the esker over there.
Let's go get them.
All right.
The main lake is popular with all anglers who like catching big rainbow trout. They often reach 10 pounds or larger. The main lake also holds good populations of brook and lake trout, which can all be caught on a fly. Casting to shoals and wind-blown rocky shorelines always seems to produce one of the 3 species. We literally just pulled the anchor up and we're going to move positions. I just put on some smaller flies because Mike keeps catching them with small magog smelts and other patterns, and put it over the side of the boat. And I like to tell you, he did something brilliant. Fish came up, this brook trout, and hit it right near the surface. Not a big fish, but it's not a bad one.
No, that's a nice looking fish.
Ready?
Ready.
There we go. Wet my hands. Nice little brookie in the main lake. There we go. There it goes.
So on the back lakes, we have canoes stored in a number of lakes throughout the area that anglers can get to, walk up, and be fishing within 15 minutes. On the main lake, we have aluminum boats with brand new 4-stroke motors that have been a real hit with everyone.
Well, what we did is we've been going up and down here, and Brad's been pretty decent. We got a 6-weight rod on, and what we did is we're letting the wind drift us, and it looks like there's bait fish coming through here, and the brook trout. I think there's some lake trout in here, and hopefully we can find some rainbows.
Yeah, there should be some rainbow in here for sure.
And I put on a full sinking line, and I put on about 6 feet of 10-pound leader, or tip, excuse me, and to a small white fly. I had a couple grabs on a bigger smelt-like pattern, and but they're just grabbing at the tail. It was too big. Where in this, oh, there's another brookie with it. I just saw bubbles. This might be a lake trout. Anyways, I'm using this 10-foot 6-weight rod, put the line out, and I'm just drifting along, and we're stripping in little short strips, and he took. It is the lake trout, isn't it?
Oh, nice one.
There we go. Not bad. Now, lake trout are out of season here. We're not trying to catch them, but they're right in with the brook trout and the rainbows on the main lake. So let me just get the line here. All right, put that there. I'm just going to very carefully, quickly show them the camera. And there he goes. On a rainy, crappy day. How fantastic is this? We went in for lunch, and by the time we were done, the skies had cleared and it was a beautiful sunny day. That's the way the weather can be in late September. We loaded up the boats with our gear and headed down the lake to our first Portage lake to hunt for big brook trout. It's so nice to enjoy the fresh air and sun in such a stunning natural environment. This is why I came at this time of the year.
So we're here at a nice little small lake off of Blue. It's good in the spring and the fall, and we're hoping to catch some nice 3 to 4 pounders with a chance of a 6 or 7 if we get lucky today. We've got an inlet and an outlet stream, and they grow big here for sure in this chain of lakes.
Okay, can you just push me a little bit forward? I'm going to cast into that bay. All right. So there's a theme here. Oh, he's off. So the theme here is that we've hooked the fish when we've stopped and we've done the drift. It's when the fly's dropping.
On the turn.
So that must be down, yeah, because we cast out after we've been casting, and then it's dropping as we let the line out, and then you start paddling, and then we do the swing, and the flies will always drop down. And I felt a tap, remember?
Yep.
And I said I missed it, and then all of a sudden I had them on. So obviously those fish are in that corner against the wall. Even though we've been going up and drifting down, why don't we go over there and cast it?
That's a good idea.
Okay. We were just repositioning, and I put out a white smelt pattern. That's because I just cast towards shore, and we were just going up the lake here because the current is, and the wind's blowing us down this way. Look at this.
Oh, nice fight.
Yeah. Now I am on the reel here, having a chance, because he came right to the boat. I don't know how big this fish is. But anyways, the smelt pattern I'm using is one we use a lot in this TV show, which is Scotty's McFly, which for whatever reason in this region, Northern Ontario, works really well. And I think it's just because there's so many smelt and so many lakes. So, first fish, first day, and it's a beautiful colored brook trout.
Yeah.
Look at the colors on that. Nice, looks like a male. You got him? There
Got
we
him.
go.
Oh, beauty fish. Look at that.
Look at this fish. That's not a bad way to start my trip looking for a trophy brook trout. How about that?
Oh, look at
that. Okay, and we're just starting to figure it out. Thank you, sir.
Hey, anytime. Glad to be of service.
Good job in the net, and Scotty's McFly,
That
the
is the
smelt
hot
pattern
ticket.
works here, yeah. Okay, see if we can get another one. And there's Scotty's McFly. As you can see, it's got a bullhead on it. It's about 4.5 inches long, so, you know, approximately the size of a smelt. And it seems to work everywhere here. And I think one of the secrets to it, besides the reflective body, is this orange collar. Some would say it's the gills. I don't know, maybe it looks like a little brook trout when it's running against it, but it's just an awesome fly. We had a wonderful first day of catching trout on both the main lake and our first Portage lake, but even better was the very real enjoyment of the serenity and peace this area provides. I'm excited to see what tomorrow will bring. Blue Fox Camp is a remote, full-service facility for up to 25 guests. There are 6 very comfortable cabins, a main cookhouse, along with shower facilities. Delicious home-cooked meals are served 3 times a day that will satisfy the largest appetite. Accessed only by float plane and surrounded by remote wilderness, the crystal-clear spring-fed lakes are a trout fishing paradise. Several years before, host Mark Melnick had visited Blue Fox for some May-June fishing for the big brook trout. Water temperatures had finally risen and the large fish were beginning to get active and cruise about. Streamers were still the go-to fly as the hatches had not yet started.
Looks like there's lots of structure and things all the way around. You got logs sticking out. There's a beaver house down there.
Beaver house and logs, rocks. So I guess, Fred, this is a pretty good go-to spot with the prevailing wind the way it is, right? Because it just pushes everything up against this shelf.
Yeah, the specks will come in here and they'll probably sit there and wait for the food to come to them.
Yeah. Now, you're not going to believe this. There's a kid at Blue Fox Camp a couple days ago that caught a fish off the dock, and he mortally wounded it. So when they cleaned it for dinner, they opened it up, and you know what? It had crayfish in its belly. I didn't bring any crayfish with me, but I happen to have my saltwater box, totally by accident. So I actually tied on a spawning mantis shrimp from the Bahamas. And look at this. If you can believe it, speckled trout. And Fred, that goes back to, you know, what we were talking about, how you guys look to stock these fish in barren lakes, right? And how would a trout, speckled trout, know what a freshwater shrimp is if there's nothing in these lakes at all? Very cool that it's the predatory instinct that they see something flashing with legs, you know, maybe some eyeballs, and boom, they hit it.
Absolutely. There's all kinds of things in these lakes for them to feed on, and you never know what it's going to be.
A bug's a bug as a bug, right?
Nice.
Whew, that's hard work. These fish are great. Who would have thought spawning mantis shrimp would do well here in Algoma fishing for speckled trout? All right, let's get this guy back. Thick, beautiful Algoma brook trout. Look at that. There you go. Perfect, perfect. It shows that when you're in a new lake and you're trying something brand new, and things are tough, to switch it up a little bit. I can't believe that we actually caught a speckled trout on a Bahamian spawning mantis shrimp. It's absolutely great. Shows how voracious these fish are. And you know what? You put your time in and you're going to have success for sure.
Nice job.
Whoa, under the boat. Whoa. Man, they are so strong and so powerful. It's because they're big.
Yeah, you can't horse them.
No, you
gotta play
can't.
them out.
Even with 10-pound tippet on, you really got to respect these fish. You know, I can't believe how thick they are across the back. They're not long fish, but they're football-y.
There's tons of food down there for them. You know, they gorge themselves all day long. That's pretty much all they do. That's why they get so big up here.
We had some luck early this morning with the minnow pattern, and I decided I hadn't had anything in a while, and I switched to the ugliest bug I have in my box. And sure enough, you know, 2 spots, 2 fish, we're pulling them off. It's amazing that they just, anything that's different, right? They'll attack it voraciously. Now, these trout do have micro teeth, and they're quite sharp, and this guy's taken this fly quite deep. So I am definitely going to retie after I let this guy go. Biggest fish of the day so far. This is awesome. Keep him in the water. Working out, Fred. Things are looking good, huh?
Absolutely.
Fly pops out.
If you wanted to go to the back lakes, I think it'd be a good idea to bring a pontoon or a float tube. We have canoes everywhere, but if someone wants to come up for the day and bring their own system, it would be a perfect setup.
The equipment we used on this trip are 9-foot 6-weight rods with matching reels. It's recommended a quality reel with a dependable drag system, as the fish at Blue Fox can often be immense. The lines we used were primarily sinking lines due to the fact the trout were deep in the water column. We used clear intermediate sinking lines for the shallower water and full sinking lines for the deep areas. Streamers were the best option at this time of the year. There's a healthy population of smelt and large minnows in the lakes, and we found Scotty's McFly was very effective. Of course, leech patterns in black, olive, and purple are also deadly for catching trout.
The goal of this management program is to try and sustain a trophy brook trout fishery. There's a lot of very unique lakes here that will grow really big fish very quickly, and having it accessible to a large group of people locally and through the tourist lodge is a big part of the ministry's drive to build this fishery and sustain it. The fish in these lakes that are planted, they generally live to a maximum of 5 years. So they're stocked at about a year old, and they will live in the lake for 4 years. And we see phenomenal growth in that period. A fish that's been in the lake would be in the range of 1.5 to 2 pounds. 3-year-old fish would be 3 pounds. A 4-year-old fish would be 5 pounds range, and a 5-year-old, if you can catch one of those monsters, could be in the 8-pound range very, very regularly.
This day, we had been plagued with numerous cold fronts moving through the area. Most fish don't like sudden barometer changes. It generally drives them deep. This was the case today, which was apparent on the sonar. You can see fish activity near the bottom. I'll have to try and get my fly to sink as much as possible. I allowed my line to sink for over a minute before I began to twitch the rod. I felt this tremendous hit and the fight was on. When fighting a fish in a canoe, you don't have the luxury of putting more force on the rod due to your sitting position. You have to be patient and allow the fish to tire on its own. Just keep a tight line. The rain just started to get heavier, so we packed it in for the day. The weather forecast for the next 2 days was clear skies. Hopefully, the fish will be biting soon. On our final day, owner Pete Roberts took us by ATVs into one of the lakes not far from the camp. It was a beautiful trip in and a short hike to where we put in canoes to begin the day's adventure. It's a new day. It's going to be a much better day. We've had nothing but fronts coming through here. But yesterday, we had stable weather. No fish, but today, stable weather. And I think this is going to be the magic day. It's 0 to hero time. fish. I cast in, and as soon as the fly started going down, Pete, the fish took, look, he's got this big clump of weeds. He went right into the bottom. But you can see him right behind it. See him?
Yeah. Oh, nice colors.
Yeah. Okay. He's almost free of those weeds. Let me see if we can get him off those weeds. Okay, I'll get his head up.
Nice.
This is like the 5th cast of the morning. How sweet is that? Let me get one more line off here. He's got a little bit of weedage. Isn't that perfect? And we hadn't marked anything on the sonar, which doesn't mean a thing. There's the fly. Popped right out with a little bit of weed. Oh, this beautiful fish is ready to go. Look at that. Oh, there you go, there you go. Wow. That was outstanding. 5th cast maybe of the morning. It's gonna be a great day. So what Pete's got us doing, which is a great technique for these small lakes and canoes, is he's got his rod out over on this side, the starboard side, and he's got a full sinking line on, got a fly with a weight on it, and he's going to be going in the deeper water. Could be 10 feet to 25 feet. Got the sonar with the chirp through my phone right now, so I can keep an eye on it. And then I'm going to cast the shoreline as we slowly go along, trying to find active fish. Because the one thing is the brook trout seem to be a little bit scattered. They're not grouped up. In this lake anyways, and we go to another lake and they're all grouped up. But does this sound like the best technique to do this?
Yeah, I think the objective this morning was just to find them after not being able to locate them for the last 3 days. It was, let's find them. We got lucky in the back there and we were able to find a small group of 2-3 active fish, but I think we're coming up to a better spot here, so let's cover some water.
Okay, and I'm using a combination intermediate sink line, and what it's allowing me to do, gets it down, but as I'm pulling it, the intermediate, it keeps the fly up near or off the bottom, but the sinking line's getting it down to the depth I need. So I'm fishing 3 feet to 8 feet. You're fishing in the 8 feet to 15 feet depth, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if we can find some more fish. Wow, missed him. That hit. Take me out a bit and try again?
Yeah.
And that was definitely a fish that grabbed there. Very cool. That was very cool, Pete. So basically, we thought it was weed when you had a bump, and then as you brought it up, it came up, followed it, and hit it. Okay. Well, I'll tell you something. What's a little guy would be a big deal to most people anywhere that love to catch brook trout. Oh yeah, beautiful. So. Beautiful. And that's almost the coloration you would see, I would think, in May here. There it goes. Well done. And that was as the fly was coming up from the bottom, he grabbed that.
Coming up on that shelf.
Well, that was kind of unusual. So we basically just finished landing the fish. I threw my fly over the side. Pete was, oh, look at that, right side. Pete was getting ready to start to maneuver us again, and the fly went down maybe 3 feet, and this this big brookie hit it.
They're hungry.
They are. And it looks like brown with copper is the color. Just taking a little bit of line here. Come on towards me. How insane is this?
Boom!
And I gotta say, we've had 2.5 days of not being able to catch the fish, seeing them on my deeper chirp, down on the bottom, very, very unhappy. And now, Peter, 2 days, 2 days of stable weather, and it changes it all.
Well, you called it. You said last night was going to be iffy. We had an outside chance, but today was going to be good. So it looks like your prediction was right.
Here, I'll let you take out the hook. Okay, hook's out.
Do you ever find that they do run in pairs?
Sometimes. A lot of times I find they run in they're like smallmouths. They do 3 or 4 of them together. And I think it's partially because then they can, if they find minnows, they can ambush them, like push them together. But yeah, I've seen them like when they hold near structure. I've seen pairs.
Yeah.
You know, like a log or a rock.
We always say if you catch one, circle around because there's going to be a second one right there. But after you pull the second one, move. Ooh, that's a decent one.
Well,
Is that fish?
that was acting like a fish, Peter.
It was.
It might have gone down in the weeds. That's why. Because that's what one of my fish did. So
That's fish.
That's a fish.
That's fish.
So
That's fish. I'll see if I can slowly pull him out of here.
that's a 6-weight rod you're using, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, he's got in the weeds. I can see him from here.
I'm making some ground up. Yeah.
Look at that. So that's the second time we've had these brook trout go right into the weeds after the initial hit. Well, there he is right behind
He's
you.
in behind it.
Okay, so bring it past me and then, oh yeah.
The weeds are up on the leader knot.
Oh, I got him.
Oh, baby. Oh, mama.
Give me 5.
Yeah.
He goes. Well done. And just what? 10 feet behind the boat because you had reeled it in to let me cast the shallows?
Yeah. Yeah, we could see bottom. That was just cruising the flats.
Well, listen, Peter, thank you.
Thank you, Colin.
I've had a great week. I don't mind saying I'm a little disappointed, and it's only because I know how big the brook trout are here. We've had lots of people come here, and everyone I think at Blue Fox has caught some of these 6 to 8 pounders, but the weather was not in my favor, was it?
You fought the weather for a solid 4 days, but your prediction came true. We had some good skies today. We had some clear skies, and the fish were active in at least one of the lakes, so.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we've got another front coming in again right now. But if I could say, you know, I've never been here in the spring, and a lot of people think brook trout in May and June, which is true, but September is actually a really good month because you don't have the bugs, you got nice cold nights for, you know, sleeping, and I really love the colors here in the fall. I mean, this lake is, and the whole region is gorgeous, so it's a reason to come back and for me to try again to end my season by catching a giant brook trout. So I guess I'll have to settle for some little 3 to 4 pounders. I mean, tough life, eh? Thanks again, Peter. And if you want more information about the Blue Fox or our show, go to our website, thenewflyfisher.com. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.
The New Fly Fisher is made possible in partnership with Algoma Country, Destination Ontario, Orvis Fly Fishing, Trout Unlimited, Rio Products, Oscar Blues Brewery, Global Rescue, Adipose Boatworks, WeatherTech Canada.